I am Dr. Eli Camp. Welcome. This is my podcast, Vital Wisdom. And this is where I talk about health, wellness, homesteading, raising children, and lots of other topics, all from the perspective of vitalism. I believe I've seen and taught others how the body can heal itself if it's given what it needs, it's not poisoned, and the innate healing ability of the body has been supported, not suppressed. It is my intention to bring what I have learned in my life, especially the last 24 years of being a physician, to help you be your own best doctor. Hope you enjoy the episodes, and thanks for being here. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Vital Wisdom with me, Dr. Eli Camp. And today I want to talk to you about another book I wrote, Smoke Rings. So the year before I started medical school, my father came to visit. He was living in the Netherlands and he came back during the holidays. He got off the plane and I was there to pick him up, and he did not look good. His skin was kind of gray. He was breathing heavily. He was still his jovial self, cutting jokes, and he was a very charismatic man. And I thought to myself, oh, I wonder what's wrong with him. And we went back to our house. I was living in Phoenix and getting ready to start med school that coming spring. And we spent the holidays together, and he went from Arizona to Oklahoma to spend some time with family in Oklahoma, and then came back to Phoenix, and I had about a week with him. And the whole time I was just thinking to myself that he didn't look good. He just didn't look good. And he was a very heavy smoker. 2 to 3 packs a day. He was a chain smoker. And if I wanted to hang out with him, I had to go outside because there's no smoking allowed in my house. And he honored that, but that meant that he sat on the back porch all day and late into the evening. He also drank. At that point in his life, he wasn't a heavy drinker, but he'd had a life of being a heavy drinker and a heavy smoker. Everyone on my dad's side of the family, almost everybody was a smoker. My uncle, who died young, one of my aunts who died young. I grew up with it. And even folks on my mom's side of the family were smokers. Smoking happened in our house. It's happened in the car. And it was just something that was part of everyday life for me, was all these people around me smoking. And they didn't know a lot about it. It was just something they did. And I didn't really think much about the smoking at that point in life, even though I had learned, this is a long time ago, but I had learned, about the dangers of secondhand smoke, which is why I didn't want smoke in the house. I didn't know a ton about it. I just knew that my dad smoked constantly all the time, and he didn't look very good. And I put him on a plane to go back to the Netherlands. And I can remember him walking down the gangplank, turned around and waved and said, "Don't be sad. I'll see you again soon." And it wasn't 3 days later that I got a call that he had passed away in his sleep, probably due to a heart attack, but nobody was really sure. And I was really sad, and I had postponed starting med school till the next fall because I had to go over to the Netherlands and help wrap up his estate and get stuff from his house, get rid of it, and packed up stuff I thought my siblings might want, all this stuff. The whole time thinking to myself is, oh man, I wish I'd sort of listened to my intuition and said something to him and got him in to see somebody. Like, I had all these thoughts in my head that somehow me not knowing what to do, somehow this was my fault. And I know that sounds silly, but he was my parent. And I had always wondered, and still to this day, I wonder if I had known then what I know now, could I have done something? So I started medical school, and the whole world opened up in front of me about this idea that the body has the capacity to self-heal. In any moment of any day, we make decisions that either take us closer or further from health. And smoking is one of those things that take us a step further from health. But even though doctors will say to you, and I'm sure I have colleagues out there who are going to shake their head at this, smoking is the best, quitting smoking is the best thing to do. But we can all agree on that. However, it's not the only thing. And as I did research for this book, which is not about quitting smoking, this is not a book to help anybody quit smoking at all. Why? Because a very low percent of people are actually successful in quitting smoking. It's discouraging, actually. No matter how much education, no matter how much support, it's a very low percentage of people. Something like 3 to 5% are actually successful at permanently quitting smoking. So what do we do with all of those other people who make the choice to continue to smoke? Now, I'm the kind of doctor who believes it's up to everybody to make their own choices of how they live their life. But because I'm a doctor and because I know lots of stuff in my head that I've learned, and I not only learned in school, but I've learned in all the years I've been in practice, there's always something we can do to support the body in its attempts to heal. And I don't know that I wrote this book for my dad. On some level, I'm sure a part of me wrote this book for my dad. And I wish that he could have read a book like this. And we might have had him around for another 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years. I don't know. But in this book, my goal is to help people who are smokers on the journey to quit smoking or not, do things to help support their body. So don't buy this book if you want to quit smoking. There's lots of other great books and programs out there to help you quit smoking. This is for the people who used to smoke or who are currently smoking, or for the loved ones of people who smoke, to help you build better health while you are doing this thing that poisons your body every day. And it does. It's not good. And quitting is the best thing, but it's not the only thing. It's not the only thing. So in the first part of the book, I talk about all of the ways to sort of make lifestyle choices other than quitting smoking that can help build better health in the body. And I discuss some basic therapies of naturopathic medicine, of medicine in general. And then I go into each system of the body and talk about how it's damaged when you smoke, and therefore what we have to do to support that part of the body. Now, I'm a vitalist, so for me, a body is a whole thing. It's a whole system, holistic medicine, right? And yet, to make it bite-sized and help people understand the different parts of the body, it's broken into chapter. But the idea is to elevate the overall health of the body in certain ways, with certain strategies, with different supplements, different kinds of therapies. And then each system has very specific things. So there's certain herbs and supplements and different kinds of therapies that are very good for the respiratory tissue and system, and some for the cardiovascular, and some for the detox, and some for the nerves and the neurological system and the cognitive system. There's something in here for everybody. Near the end of the book, I give sort of a general smoker's daily plan, something all smokers should be doing regardless. And then my advice in there is, if you have trouble with a particular system, go to that chapter and maybe add some of that stuff in. And then I have a little apothecary at the end. And I really hope that even if there's one person that picks up this book and does what's in here, they can buy themselves some extra time, maybe a lot of time. Because I'll tell you, even in the population of people who don't smoke, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily healthy. They may make other kinds of lifestyle choices that have left their body in an unhealthy state. With this book, you can have someone who's a smoker and making an unhealthy choice daily, maybe many times a day, of any substance they're smoking. And yet, there is the very real possibility that they can be in better health than people who don't smoke. If you love someone who is a smoker, pick this up and help them do things that can elevate their health. If you're a smoker, if you're an ex-smoker, pick this book up. It is a great companion, a great guide for understanding your body and understanding the different things that you can do, even simple things like vitamin C. You smoke a cigarette or something else, you deplete vitamin C dramatically in your body. So simply adding that in every day, getting a little chewable 250 milligram tablet of vitamin C, and every time you have a smoke, then you chew your little 250 milligrams of vitamin C. Just that one thing itself can make a significant difference in the amount of damage that happens in the body. I don't know if I knew then what I knew now, could I have bought my dad more years on this planet? I don't know that. But I believe that I could have. And while it's not my fault and it was his decision to smoke, it'll always be that little nagging thought in the back of my head. And I hope that this helps you or someone you love buy more time while you are doing something that we know damages the body. It is non-judgmental. It is not trying to convince anybody to make a particular decision. It is an aid. It is a guide. It is meant to help people find a better level of health while they're doing this thing called smoking. Smoke rings. It's available at all major booksellers. I have some sitting on the shelf if you want to get it directly from me. And I thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.